Hello everyone, Martin here with another Doomsday video. Been trying to really refine the list and work on the Delver matchup. I'm about 142 matches into keeping track, so to speak, and I am at a 62% win record overall. However, I today looked at how that breaks down when grouping decks into either non-blue, which is anything from Death and Taxes to Eldrazi, Loam strategies, lands and aggro Loam Maverick, and the win rate there is just very high. It's like about 40 matches, it's 75%, and the win rate against combo is also really nice. That's about 63, 65, something like that. And then we have Snowco, where the win rate is 58 or 59, I forget. But then the big kahuna is Delver, all Delver decks. I group them together, and my win rate is 30%. So I really want to try and improve that. And towards that end, I have decided to add 2 Path to Exile and a 4th Mentor to this list alongside the 4th Plow. And hopefully, I mean that means reverting completely out of the combo, but I'm hopeful that can, improve my going rate against Delver, but we shall see. So this is the final day of the league. It will end in 14 hours, so people are beginning to trickle out. Hopefully I can there's still like 323 players, so hopefully I can find some opponents. There we go. I played this deck in the Legacy Showcase Challenge. Pardon me. 2833 drop, which was fairly lackluster, sadly. And we faced the mirror in round 1, and I was able to win that one. Then I faced 3 Delver decks in a row. Sadly, lost 2. Beat one of them. So that sort of corroborates my 30% win rate, I guess. So at X2, I decided to play on. I faced Cephalid Breakfast, which I was able to beat, but then I lost to Hogak and was 3-3 and decided to call it quits. But yeah, I mean, if we can improve the Delver matchup to something closer to 40-45%, I don't know if that's completely unrealistic or what, then I would be extremely pleased, because then I think that the deck really has some legs. The problem is that without doing that, then I worry that like if you take this deck to like series tournaments, a lot of people will be on like Delver or Snowco. A lot of quote unquote like grinders or serious like legacy specialists or whatever will gravitate towards Delver. But anyway, so we were up against Andrea Mangucci, and Andrea mulligans to 6, and I get a somewhat iffy hand here. I think I probably have to mulligan this as well, and I also have to mulligan this, sadly. We're 1 land away from a very great hand. Now I obviously instantly wish I had kept. Oh my goodness, we're just getting crushed here. So this is the point where you have to wonder if going down to 4 is correct, because we have 2 Force of Wills and 2 blue cards. So if they're on like Black Red Reanimator, then this is, I think, better than going down to 4. But we can play Magic, and if we're Force of Willing twice on a card hand to 5, then we're down to like no cards. So I think we almost just have to accept that we will lose game 1 here and go like this. Okay, we will keep 1 Doomsday. We will keep a Ponder. We will keep the land, and we have to decide what else we will keep. So we're not keeping the Force of Will, and I don't see myself. Actually, I'm gonna keep the Edge, because that will, if we like draw into a Dark Ritual and a land kind of thing. So yeah, let's go like this, and see what we're up against. LED. So Storm combo. Oh, Dredge. Okay. Yikes. That's a good hand. Good opening 6. They don't hit an Archimeba. Don't hit. They don't hit. Oh, they hit an Archimeba and a Faithless Looting. So have they hit Therapy? They have not, but now they get to Dredge 2 more times. You'll have to sort of expect them to hit Therapy. So if we draw Dark Ritual exactly, I think we will have a good shot at winning. Wait, what does this do? Okay, so they get to Dredge 3 instead of 2 with the Faithless Looting. That's pretty neat. This will also sort of potentially kill us if we were to cast Doomsday. Let's see, they hit a Therapy. They hit double Therapy. I think I'm going to concede. Yeah. I've seen enough. Let's just see for funsies if we would have... Yeah, okay. And then we would have pondered. There's a Dark Grit. Alright. So that was not a lot of fun. So let's bring in the 2 surgical. And I guess nothing else. I don't really see us plowing. I mean, if I was playing a Miracles deck or a Stoneblade deck, then I would keep in some plows most likely, because plowing an Icarid is a thing. But I don't think we're supposed to go to the Miracles. I think we're supposed to remain a combo deck. So what do we want to remove here? We want to remove the Cavern of Souls. We might want to remove Teferi, like 1 Teferi. Like getting to that part of our game plan seems a bit unlikely. So they basically had the God Dredge on turn 1 with an LED and a breakthrough. I feel I'm getting a bit punished today. Don't think we can keep this. Or what? Can we'll go turn 1 Thoughtseize, take an LED. And then we just need their turn. Then they get a turn, and hopefully they can't really do anything. Then we get a turn. And then they get a turn, and that turn we have to survive and not have our Doomsday taken. Seems super sketchy. No, mulligan. And of course, I really can't buy any luck today on what is going on. Okay, keep this. Bin a land, bin an astrolabe, and we go. All right, they keep 6. Let's go like this, and I'm gonna go fetch basic island astrolabe here. Preordaining lets us potentially hit a surgical, but then we don't have a blue card, so kind of want to do this instead. Okay, second force is okay. It means we can force something and keep our preordained, but I don't like our spot here. Okay, I'm gonna let them therapy us and hopefully they'll miss. Oh, they stupid, didn't see that they were therapying themselves. So they therapy the grave troll. Okay, I can live with that. So I think I'm gonna put both on top and draw the dark writ. I'll pass, and if they hit an Archimedes and therapy is here, I'm gonna just, I might just F6 actually. Okay, they didn't. Did they do anything else? Are they able to do anything in City of Brass so they can play a Stinkweed Imp? Or sure. I'm gonna F6 and they will therapy us. And they are probably smart and will name Force of Will. But I don't think. I mean, actually, if they name Dark Ritual, then I'll be really sad. But they don't have a second therapy, and this lets them. I mean, we'll lose both Force of Wills if we force. So this gives them a chance to miss. And okay, so they have been looking me up on MTG Goldfish and know that I'm on Doomsday, or they just have the read. Okay, come on, Doomsday. We hit the Doomsday. Excellent. So let's put back a Thoughtseize and put back a Dark Ritual. And let's play out the LED. And let's cast Doomsday. And let's make predicting away a brainstorm. And drawing Edge of Autumn. And what? Normally that we would put the LED here, but we already have it. So is there any reason to do anything else? Could they randomly have some sort of sideboard tech? Can't really predict and get to Orm's Chant. Guess we could draw Brainstorm. We could draw Edge of Autumn or Street Wraith. Yeah, draw Street Wraith. Street Wraith into Brainstorm. Brainstorm into. No, we can't do that because then if we end up having to force something, that won't work. You need an extra card on top of your Brainstorm in order for Brainstorm to actually draw you into 2 cards. So let's just predict the brainstorm, draw Edge of Autumn, and I guess like if I'd kept in the cavern, I would have taken the cavern. But let's just for fun's sake take the volcanic. Or I guess actually let's take a surgical, so they only think we have one surgical, because of this card, the surgical will be drawn, and we'll edge into the Thassa's Oracle. Actually, no, that does make sense. They'll see it with the line side diamond being cracked, so never mind. Let's go like this. Put Thassa on the bottom, then surgical edge, and brainstorm predict. There we go. So they will dredge, I'm assuming. Hopefully they aren't able to get like Iona into play or something. They don't hit an Archamoeba. What do we know about their hand? City of Brass is gone. Alright, they can see. Sweet. Wow, a lot of mulliganing. So I don't think we change anything here. Let's yeah, let's not, right? We could be cheeky and revert completely into miracles, but I don't think we're really winning that way, right? Because we only have two graveyard hate pieces, and they'll be they will likely have mowed us down before we get to a point where we can like be resolving mentor, and like the spot removal just really isn't good enough, I don't think. All right. What is it with me not being able to draw any lands? I guess we can consider keeping this as we have Force Blue card, we have Surgical, and we have Street Wraith, which means we will get to draw into two more cards before having to play a land, but it is dicey as crap. Does the rest of this hand do enough? The double chant is like poor. I think we mulligan. I guess we keep. Yeah, we can ship a land. They have an LED. LED is really the key. They're therapying themselves again. So they have a Coliseum, which they'll be able to go nuts with. And we'll have two therapies in the yard by then. Yikes. Okay. Hopefully we can just draw the Doomsday and win. Nope. Okay. Pass. Don't hit an Archamoeba. Oh, that is bad. They didn't hit a bridge, but now I think they'll just get to wait, they'll need to get another card into their yard for this to work, right? Can they do that on this turn? Guess they can just therapy us now, and then like they can double therapy us. So we will likely lose our Dark Rituals, which is a shame and might cost us the win, but it's not for sure yet. I'm gonna click this Dark Ritual and pretend I'm casting something, which would then be Force of Will. So hopefully they'll just Force of name Force of Will here, but then they'll take the Dark Rituals. Right. Okay. So they have the other therapy in hand, so I'm assuming they're going to use their Gemstone Mine to cast that now and snipe our Dark Rits. And then, like, if we draw another land, then I'm getting close to calling it. But if the top of our deck is kind to us, we might get like a cantrip or something. We can play the second Astrolabe and then potentially see about doing something next turn, like the turn after. I don't see a world where they don't therapy us here. What would be the point? Of, like, what else could they do? They could play the Colosseum and play a Thug, that doesn't make sense. They could cast an Archimedes. Alright, maybe they are taking a bathroom break. So, eagerly awaiting the outcome of this. Pause in the game. All in all, though, with this hand being basically all mana and an unusable cantrip, mostly. Wait, they're therapying themselves. Is that oh, they didn't have a dredger? Didn't they have they had no, they didn't have a dredger in the yard. Ah, that's so fortunate for us. Okay. So now they do, and now they also have Threshold, but they won't be able to use it this turn. So wait, they have 2 cards in hand? What am I missing? Okay, like that. Alright, come on, something good. That is not the worst. Alright, let's Astrolabe here. Thassa's Oracle is close to being the worst. So, do we want to surgical something? Because then now would be the time. I think so, right? So their hand is a Golgari Thug. So if we were to surgical this Golgari Grief Troll, they can't dredge on their upkeep. Then they draw a card. So they can cast Golgari Thug. And they cast Golgari Thug. They lose the Gemstone Mine. Then they have to pass the turn. Then on the subsequent turn, they can then dredge. I really hate wasting a surgical extraction on a dredger. What I would mostly want to do is, if you can surgical their Narcomoeba, and if you can surgical their Icarid, then it is very likely that they'll just never be able to get anything going. So, I think I'm going to pass. Okay, they hit Icarid. And they already have sort of two Narcomoebas sort of wasted, if you see what I mean. Because one is in the yard and the other one is in their hand. So I guess the question for them is... No, there isn't really a question, right? Did they leave themselves without a dredger once more? That's insane. No, yeah, crazy. So their hand is Golgari Thug, Narcomoeba, and the Golgari Grave Troll. So they can play out either an Narcomoeba or a Thug. I guess Thug would be it. And then they flashback therapy on me, but then the Thug is in the yard. But then they lose the gemstone mine, and they won't be able to get this going next turn. So they are sort of sitting in a really awkward spot. So I think we're going to let them... I think likely they will play out the Golgari Thug now, and I think then likely they will flashback therapy, and then we will have to see if they're targeting us or themselves. Oh wait. So, wait, well, how does this work? You have to draw 3 first. So they are just, what, drawing 3 and then discarding 3? They don't have a dredger, right? Let's see. Putrid Imp does not have dredge. None of those cards. Does this one do? Nope. Street Wraith. Okay. That has got to be like one of the most awkward dredge sort of opening 3 turns I can remember seeing. We're not doing a whole lot though. Oh. Okay. So that's more like it for them, right? So they can flashback this or escape this, I guess. So do we want to surgical that? We have to do it now with the Lion's Eye on the stack, and if we do that, then that just means they Faithless Looting instead. Can we handle this in play? Like for how long? Okay. I think we do it. So that was a pretty nice draw for them. So if they hit Narcomoeba now, it's not the best for us because they already have Icarid in the yard. Discard your hand and dredge 3, basically. Or dredge 3 times. Okay, there's an Narcomoeba. And so that was very good for them. Not only do they get to therapy as once, twice, 3 times. I think the correct play here is actually taking the therapy, because they'll get to crash through next turn with... Well, first of all, it means they don't get to sack anything. So they don't get their... They have, what, 3 bridges? They don't get the bridge triggers. And that means next time they have, what, 1 Icarid? 2 Icarid? 2 Icarids. 5 here, so that's 11 damage. 12. So you know what? We are going to take these therapies. Okay. 1, 2, 3. They already had 1 exiled, right? Yep. So what's left in their deck? I'm guessing Dread Return? Or no, they don't have Dredge return, so they don't. They just sort of beat down with bridge tokens. That's fair. Their hand is 2 trolls and a stink we did. All right. So let's pass, and if we don't draw a cantrip or a Doomsday next turn, we will sack the Edge of Autumn, or sack a land to the Edge of Autumn. I think at least. Or we might we afford one more turn? Like one more draw step? Because I know what we can do. We can cast Thassa's Oracle. That way we'll get the bridge triggers out, and it's like one less attacker getting through. I guess we will. This is put one on top, right? Put one of them on top. So I'm gonna put gonna put Ponder on top and pass. And then I think, like, I didn't see a way. I wasn't looking thoroughly enough, but I didn't see a way for them to get their bridge from below tokens haste. Do you keep dredging here? I would assume so. So if Ponder was to show us Doomsday, we win. I'm fairly confident. I don't know if there's a world where they don't attack. I don't think so, but because that would mean Thassa's Oracle would need to get bounced by Teferi, which means putting Teferi in the pile, which is a little bit sort of awkward, but we could probably we could do it with the mana we have. So they dredge, sure. They get an Archamoeba. They hit anything else? You attack, right? Or do you just do you value the bridge tokens more? That's totally possible. You can just not attack, and at the end of turn you have to sack these two, and you will get 6 2/2s, and you just keep doing that a couple of turns, and after that I won't be able to. Nah, all right. Oh, okay. Sure. All right. They get a bunch of zombies. And so next turn they can attack with 2 Icarids. That's 6, that's 11, that's 12, that's 13, that is 25. We can block 5, so yeah, we'll die next turn. So I'm gonna leave the fetch land in case I get a brainstorm. Come on, Doomsday? Nope. So I guess we can take this Preordain, crack the fetch, and that's basically, we have one shot now, finding Doomsday. Those cards are not Doomsday. So I guess, hang on. We can go Dark Ritual, that's 5 mana. And we can go Lion's Item, that's 8 mana. So let's say we were to predict. That would put us at 6 mana, and then 3 for the Doomsday, 3 for the Teferi. And then we have nothing to cast the Oracle, so that's no good. So what if we... Basically, I think we have to shuffle here, or bottom both, and hope to just draw the Doomsday, because if we don't, then let's say, or maybe we're even too far in. So let's say we get a Doomsday now. We go Dark Ritual, 5 mana, use 3 to cast Doomsday. Then we have 2 floating, and we have 3 from the LED. So that would exactly be enough. We would exactly be able to cast a fairy and cast the Oracle, like recast the Oracle. So bottom, nope. Oh man. So is there a way this could work still? Would probably involve casting a Dark Rit and casting a Ponder. If we had left up mana, we could Orbs Chant them next turn. Alright, we're out now. I'm just looking to see if we could actually find the bloody Doomsday. Well, land. But no. Alright, GG's opponent. Alright, let's queue up here and put this into our scoreboard card or record spreadsheet. So, oh, the way around. Dredge, win. Oh, sorry. Freudian slip, wishful thinking, whatever we want to call it. So those were a lot of mulligans. I'm actually kind of pleased I got the second game, and it feels bad. They got such an awkward draw in game 3 that it felt like it was there for the taking, but we just didn't get it. All right, let's see here. Round 2. That's hardly amazing, but it plays Magic, so I'm gonna keep. They mulligan to 6. So the good news is we have force protection. Bad news is if we have to use it, we will not have anything. Alright, let's just say island go. Tropical Island could be a number of things. I think it's probably the most played duel. Last zone. So what lands? Chalice for 1. I think we mulligan this, but I kind of want to go rabbit hunting to see if there's something better to pitch than a Force of Will, or than Okay, so actually, factually, maybe we don't force this. Might be too greedy and too risky. But I can actually see a world where we just let this happen and then cast Doomsday 2 turns from now. So yeah, let's actually do that. So next turn, I will cast Doomsday, and then I'll just have to pass the turn and hope to get there. So let's see. We'll get the turn. We'll fetch down to 17, cast Doomsday down to 8, then we will pass. Then they will get the turn. They'll likely wasteland us. Then we can cast Predict. So we'll draw Predict. We'll predict something. We'll draw Lion's Eye Diamond and Edge of Autumn. And Thassa will be on the bottom. And they would have to deal us 8 through this night, which is a 3/3 right now. Actually, they'll have to deal us 7. Because Force will maybe get pitched. But I actually think we're going to let this happen. Okay. So let's get another Underground Sea. Let's cast this. And let's cast Doomsday. And we'll make the pile another Predict. And we'll predict Brainstorm. We'll draw Edge and Lion's Eye Diamond. And we'll put Thassa's Oracle on the bottom. Actually, is there a world where they somehow get to Ghost Quarter and like remove 2 or even if they kill 2 of our lands, we have the Volcanic in hand, so we'll be fine like this. So we'll put Thassa on the bottom, LED, Edge, Brainstorm, Predict, and pass. So this Force of Will have to be used on like Leovold or Chalice for 0, Chalice for 0. So let's hope they don't also have like a Leovold or a Thalia. We can actually beat Thalia, I think. Not sure what they're up to here. If it's like Green Suns for 4 and getting Leovold, then I'll be sad. Oh man. Yeah, that gets us too. Yep, nothing to be done. Should have put the Chalice or the Cavern in our pile. Okay, so they like got triple Chalice. That's a little aggravating, but you know. So they showed us blue mana. So there's a very real chance they have Leovold. So I wonder if I should go full Mentor here. Probably not. I might go for, if there's a game 3 where I'm on the draw, I might do that, but I think on the play, I just want to be as fast of a Doomsday deck as I can be. So let's see here. We can board in one Mentor maybe, and then grab a few Plows and a Terminus, and we can maybe stand to lose Teferi. Nah. Might need Teferi to bounce. Awkward permanence. Do we need the Cavern here? Do we actually? I don't really want to go down on lands against this type of deck, so maybe, yeah. So maybe we cut one Teferi. So I think we keep here. And we thought seize them off the underground sea. We risk getting it wastelanded, which would be annoying because with the underground sea in play, there's a chance we can Doomsday on turn 2. But if we're committing the underground sea, I'd rather thought seize them than preordain. Thought seize sort of paves the way for these preordains, and that we can take a chalice. Ah, that was annoying. And it's annoying. I was sort of hoping to get this video done sort of a bit quickly. And I mean, I can easier deal with matches going really long if it's like because it's super grindy, but just opponents going AFK is a little bit annoying, but I can't really complain because I've done it heaps of times, you know, your kid cries or whatever. Okay, so there is a wasteland, there's a decay. We have to take the chalice, and we'll get our underground sea wastelanded, but so be it. We could still like draw Dark Ritual and not win next turn, but have Doomsday. Okay, they don't. Hopefully that doesn't mean they drew another chalice. Or Thalia, maybe? Oof, okay. So that shuts off their own Mox Diamond. Gonna preordain. So we have a Doomsday. Let's not grab another cantrip. Let's preordain again. I might want the men. No, they have decay. Although they have no way to make black mana right now, but they will surely get it. Actually, let's bottom both. I kind of need to not draw Thoughtseize. I kind of need to hit like Dark Ritual now to be able to cast Doomsday. If they get a chalice for 1 here, it's pretty much game over. Well, there's a Dark Ritual, so there's the... No, there's not the win. Never mind. Forgot the pedal is off. So let's lose LED and pedal and cast Ponder and shuffle the Ponder. That was a good draw. So hopefully we can do something here. Okay, so their hand is Decay and a blank, and they now have mana to cast the Decay. Okay, so they'll grab that. Haha, that was amazing. Okay, they can't even decay right now, so so what are we gonna do? I guess we can't actually predict and win on this turn. So what we can do is we can make a pile that has Force of Will and a blue card on top. Or actually, sorry. Predict target, then Force of Will blue card. And then the last two will be Thassa and Street Wraith, or Edge of Autumn. So that way we can predict into, on their turn, we can predict into a force. We know they only have the decay, so they can't get to 2 threats. And the only thing that can go wrong then is if they naturally draw a Ghost Quarter. But if they, we can put a land on top, and then we will have to not predict on their turn. Yeah, that works. All right. So let's make this pile with an Underground Sea on top, a Force of Will, and a Ponder. So we will predict the Underground Sea, draw Force, draw Ponder. Then on our, we'll get the turn, we'll draw Edge of Autumn, and edge into the Thassa. Alright. So let's say Thassa on the bottom, Edge of Autumn, Force of Will, then Ponder, and then Underground Sea. I also misspoke. It wasn't only Ghost Quarter. I think Rashad Port will do that too. I guess if they have Surgical and they Surgical in response to this predict, then that's annoying. Underground Sea. Sweet. All right, so for game number 2, we only have 2 plows right now. I think we might want some more plows. Maybe another mentor. And while I do like being fast with Doomsday, I think it's a lot better on the play. Let's cut one of each. And cut a Thoughtseize, which gets worse post board. So this hand will get destroyed by turn 1 Chalice. They mulligan to 6, and they need to hit both a Chalice and a Mox Diamond. So is there any way we can actually defend keeping a 5-card or a 7-card hand with 5 1-mana spells? I'm gonna risk it. Oh my goodness, I'm going to weep a flood of tears if they do a go turn 1 Chalice. Phew. Thank goodness. And we draw the Force. That is awesome. So now I think we can afford to fetch Basic Island and cast an Astrolabe. There's our basic planes, so now we just have to Force of Will a Chalice for 1 if they cast it, and we will be able to set up a nice terminus at some point. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. So is there a world where we want to Thoughtseize them here? There might be, right? So we can preordain off the basic island, and then we can fetch a basic plains and Thoughtseize them. I think I like that. What it does risk, though, is us running into them top decking a Chalice. That way we can't brainstorm Terminus on top, which would be a problem. Street Wraith is awesome with Terminus, but I don't think we want it. And another land might not be the worst, so yeah. Oh, hang on. Yeah, good. So we were gonna Thoughtseize. Get the basic plains. Don't show me double Chalice. Okay. I don't think so, Leovold. Even with Terminus. So I guess they knight here. Oh, Dark Confidant, sure. Can we Astrolabe here? Yeah, I think I like Astrolabing. So, yeah, let's just pass. Green Suns, sure. Their hand is Green Sun's Loam, Knight, and a blank. Wonder if they saw the Terminus when we Doomsdayed last game. You know, in my exile pile, I mean. Sure. I think we Terminus now, because I don't want to have them just get a bunch of cards with Dark Confidant. So I don't think we want the land. So now they have a Green Sun Zenith that we will probably have to force of will because it can get a Leovold. So let's brainstorm. Beautiful. So let's Doomsday and pass the turn. Yeah, let's get basic island. In case they somehow get a, what do you call it? An oof down next turn, we will be able to make blue-blue. Alright. So what do we want to do? We want to draw predict? Do we want to predict away brainstorm? Or possibly a Terminus? And then we can what? We predict we cast Terminus. So actually, let's think this through, because I'm considering putting the Cavern in the pile just to be able to let a Chalice for 2 resolve. But they're not casting a Chalice for 2, as well as dropping another, bomb, so they can Green Suns for 3, and we're going to force that because we can't sort of play through Leopold, not sort of profitably anyways. We would have to put Terminus on top and then pass the turn once more, and they could like have another Leopold. So yeah, not doing that. So maybe just predict, draw that, predict away the Terminus, draw what? I'm just trying to work out if there's a way that I can get a Cavern on the bottom. Sorry, get a Cavern into the pile, because I'm now obsessed because I lost to that Chalice for 2. But let's not factor that in because they aren't getting to that. What they could end up with is somehow getting like a Collector Roof. So let's say they draw a Chalice and they played for 0. We'll just have to let that resolve. Because then we can't let them Leopold with the Green Sun. If they get Chalice and played for 1, they'll have 2 mana. And we know their hand is Loam and Green Sun, so they can't get to Oof. So I don't think they can get to Oof at all. They could draw Oof, play it, we force it, then they have Green Sun for 1, which does nothing. Okay. Sorry, opponent, for wasting your time here. Predict into Terminus, or break Terminus away, draw Edge of Autumn, rather. Yeah, Edge of Autumn is fine, LED. Then we put Thassa on the bottom. We don't get the Cavern, but no, that doesn't matter. So we put Thassa on the bottom, LED, Edge, Terminus, predict, go. I think if you're them, you have to just Green Suns for 3, right? And go for Leopold. Yep. So they could have drawn the Chalice for 0 there, and it would have annoyed me because then I would have had to wait an additional turn, which could have been problematic, but Terminus. And I guess actually this means we could have instead of LED we could have put Cavern here. I was just not thinking that I had the 3 lands instead of 2. So yeah, lesson learned, hopefully. Alright, sweet. We got there. That felt a bit ropey at times, but we prevailed against the non-blue menace, which this deck has a tendency to do, which is awesome. So what is that? Loam? Yeah, aggro loam, right? That's what I call it. Yep. Alright. Let's see what we see. I'll be kind of disappointed if I don't face a Delver deck in this league, seeing as how my entire sideboard more or less if we face Delver, I'll be boarding in 13 cards, which is something I don't think I've ever really done before in Legacy. Maybe once or twice with Storm. Okay. Opponent had a change of heart. But yeah. It's funny because 13 cards going in, and they replace 4 Doomsday, 4 Dark Writ, 1 Thassa, 1 Edge of Autumn, 1 Street Wraith, and 1 Lion's Eye Diamond. That's 12 cards. And then I have the 2 Orum's Chant. And I board out 1. I would actually love to have a 14th card to not have an Orum's Chant, because Orum's Chant in quote-unquote fair matchups is close to useless. It's not completely useless because you can randomly do something amazing where, like, you can randomly kicker it and fog your opponent for 1 turn, and that will be key, but it will most of the time be useless. Alright, so let's be on the play. Yeah, I think we keep this, and we can't. I mean, we could go for it on turn 1, but I will more often than not just not do that in the blind, because we'll be building our pile not knowing what we're up against. And so what I'll do instead is I will play Flooded Strand and fetch an island and ponder, looking for Force of Will. And we'll have to take it from there. Come on, opponent. So yeah. Okay, never mind. So what do we lose by doing this? Well, if we're up against, like, discard, then unless we get Force of Will and decide to use Force of Will, they will take our Doomsday, and that will be very bad. But other than that, I'm not sure. Like, there is Force of Will, so that's actually pretty good. And we'll draw the Preordain to have another draw effect, even though it won't really matter. It will still be a pass the turn pile. Actually, maybe we should have taken the Astrolabe. That way next turn we could have gone Astrolabe into Flooded Strand, fetching basic island, and then not have to open ourselves up to a potential wasteland here. Okay. Is there a world where we Dark Writ again to play around Spell Pierce? Or do they always just Spell Pierce the Dark Writ? I think I like playing around Spell Pierce, and I don't think we'll need to have the Dark Ritual in hand, because we'll be able to force and still have a card in hand. Okay, they force pitching Uro. Hopefully they don't have double force. Okay, so Uro makes me think I will get to keep my Underground Sea. It's not a guarantee, but I think so. I want to make a cavern pile, because they will be. I think what's most likely to get us is if they cantrip on their next turn and get to like find another force. So there's also the risk though that they will take our discard us next turn. And if they do that, we'll need to predict. So let's say we try and make a predict pile first. So we draw predict, we predict brainstorm, draw LED and LED and edge, and then edge into Thassa. We can't make a cavern pile that way. So let's say instead we draw brainstorm, or rather we draw street wraith. We street wraith into brainstorm. We brainstorm, drawing edge of autumn, cavern of souls, and Thassa's oracle. That way we don't get to the bottom of our pile, which then means they will win if they have a removal spell. So we would then street wraith into brainstorm, cast brainstorm, drawing a edge, cavern, and Thassa, and we would have to put back preordain and cavern, I guess, and then edge into the cavern. So that doesn't work against removal. So do we want to play around removal, or do we want to play around them drawing force of will? Or is there a way we can get to the bottom of the pile? So let's say we just, because we have a preordain right now, so we could like draw a brainstorm, then we can preordain for 1 blue, drawing the street wraith. We could so now our hand is street wraith brainstorm, and there are 3 cards left in the pile. We then brainstorm, drawing edge, cavern, Thassa. We put back cavern, Thassa, and then we have street wraith and edge. So but then we were mana short. So that's no good. Jeez Louise. Actually, I think I'm gonna play towards them having removal but not having another force. I think that's just more likely. So let's put back the cavern, and actually we can keep the cavern, I guess, and we will use that as the card we predict, and we'll lose the street wraith, and we will add the lineside diamond. Predict cavern, draw edge line. Yeah. All right. So let us put Thassa on the bottom, LED, edge, cavern, predict. Maybe I should have actually, I'm not thinking, I could have made that other pile, right? Because I could have used the preordain on this turn, and then I wouldn't have had to use the mana next turn. So that was stupid. Underground Sea. So they can discard us here if they want. Alright, so hang on. Let's just wait and see here. So there, our pile is Thassa on the bottom, then Thassa on the bottom. You know what I think? I think they have Drown in the Lock. I think that's what they're representing here. So we can preordain now, and we can then draw the cavern, I guess. Then there will be 3 cards in the deck. Then we can pass the turn. We could play out the cavern in order to be able to predict, but then they will certainly counter the predict with the drown in the lock. Wait, what does drown in the lock say? Is it less than, or is it less than an equal? Because if it's less than, then predict also can't be countered by drown in the lock. My slow ass computer. Whatever. Let's see. Drown in the loch. With converted mana cost less than or equal. Okay, so they will be able to counter the predict. They'll also be able to counter the preordain. I'm going to preordain now, because I think that is what they're representing. So let's draw. Let's put let's put both on top, but draw the cavern, and let's not play it. And if they want to keep up 2 mana at all time, they'll have to not really do a lot. So we can actually maybe just pass, and then what, Leovold? Sure. Okay, so we'll pass again, and we will cycle this on their turn. And unless they can deal us damage equal to 8, we will win. Okay. So I guess if they have Vendilion Clique, they could kill us. I'm actually not sure how that works. Because you put a card on the bottom of your library and then you draw one, right? Not the other way around. So Vendilion Clique would just actually put this Thassa back in our hand. Awesome. So this is Snoko, Bloko, Yoko, whatever. So we want the Pyroblasts against Yield Leovold. We probably want a couple of Plows. They have Oko, so maybe we want a Terminus. And a couple of Mentors. The Terminus is a maybe, but let's cut a couple of Doomsdays. A couple of Rituals. Maybe cut one Chant. We want the Teferi. They probably have Veil, so maybe we can cut a Thoughtseize. Maybe we can cut 2 Thoughtseizes. Or what? Do we cut a Petal? Petal is pretty nice with Mentor, though. Maybe an Astrolabe? I don't think they'll be going after our mana. Yeah, let's try this. Yeah, I think this is fine. It's a bit annoying that we can't get to white mana and red mana. Where's my plateau at, right? But we don't have any white cards now, but we definitely are going to want some at some point. All right, so they mulligan to 6. All right. Kind of hope not to get thought seized here, but and I guess I am not getting thought seized. Also, I think actually secretly the card that is the most deadly out of their deck is Sylvan Library. Sylvan Library will wreck us. So I'm hoping they don't get to Sylvan. I'm not going to fetch out to Pyroblast quite yet because I don't think there are any juicy 2-mana Pyroblastable cards. There's a slight chance they have Counterbalance, but I don't think they will. So instead I am going to ponder here. Yeah, and I think, you know what? Let's go like this, Petal Strand, Brainstorm. So that way we can, next turn, depending on what happens on their side, we could predict away either the Flooded Strand or the Petal. Well, not the Flooded Strand. No, never mind, actually, because we'll be drawing that. But the Petal. Yeah, so what I want to do here is play out the Strand and not predict, because I want we're getting to their third turn, and if they have Leovold, I need to be able to Pyroblast that. So here I think I will fetch, and I'm not going to play around back to basics with them having 2 duels out, so I'm just going to get Scrubland. And now what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to play Astrolabe and have red mana that way. And say go. Sure. Not too worried about that. I mean, 3-1 is nothing to sneeze at. So I think I'm going to Brainstorm here. Oh, wait. Oko. So if we Pyroblast this and they untap and then next turn they make Leovold, it's really bad. Having said that, I don't really think Oko is something we want to have around. So I think I'm going to Pyroblast it. And I still think I'm going to Brainstorm here. And put back, I think we put back a Underground Sea to be predicted. I'm just going to do it now while their defenses are down. Okay, Terminus is not the worst. These mana rocks aren't the best, though. I think I'm going to pass. So if they go Leovold now, we will Brainstorm in response and put Terminus on top. I think any other creature, and I will Terminus, because we're taking 3 a turn here. It's going to not be an insane amount of time before they have enough to kill us. What I would like to draw is something like a Mentor or a Teferi. So they're brainstorm locked, by the way. Let's have a look here. Good cards. I think I am going to put both on top. And I will probably plow their Brazen Borrower. Ah, shoot! Well, lesson learned. Actually check the cards in your hand. I think we're gonna dump the Lineside Diamond. That is the least usable card. I'm gonna plow now, I think. Actually, no, I'm gonna take another 3 because then if they commit another creature to the board, we will Terminus instead. Okay, they didn't. We look silly, but it is what it is. Eventually, let's just make Street Wraith, right? Swamp Walk all the way to victory. Sure. So now what? We can cast Doomsday with 2 free mana, which is incidentally enough for us to both Pyroblast and cast the Brainstorm, but we don't have another blue card. So we can Street Wraith into a Brainstorm. How about if we Brainstorm now and look for some more help? They have Veil mana open. Okay, Teferi is nice. Let's put it back like this. Play a land. Probably pass, yeah. We will pass, and then I would like to get them to commit some more of their mana, to be honest. Veil of Summer. You know what? I think I'm going to let this pass, and then I think they're going to play Leovold. Hopefully they don't play... Like, I'm not too worried about Jace, to be honest. Okay. So... Wait. This was not what I thought it was going to be. So we can Pyroblast this guy. And we might be able to just stop them in their tracks. They might be sitting on like Force Blue card. In which case we can't really do anything about that. But I think I'm supposed to do that, right? Because I can't counter the Cavern Harpy, if that's even how it goes off anymore. So we're likely dead, but let's nevertheless try and do this. I'm guessing they have Force. What else were they doing for all those turns? Okay. They might still have Force, and we might still just be dead. Uru, sure. They get a free draw. What does this do? Okay, so I guess they just get to draw their entire deck, right? Return blue black creature. Yeah, okay. I've seen enough, right? Can't do anything about any of this. Oops. Okay. Interesting. This is Alarin. So does that change what we are doing? They didn't see the terminus. Wait. Wait. Am I just being a muppet? I could have street wraithed, right? And drawn the terminus. And then I would have terminused away the Uru. Like with Cavern Harpy on the stack. And then they would have to, like, yeah, that was stupid. You know what I think? They didn't see Mentor. I think I'm going to go all in on the white cards here. And because it's Alarin, we actually do want the Orm's Chant, because Orm's Chant stops them, right? So with Orm's Chant, if you chant in response to Cavern Harpy, the Cavern Harpy will be in play. How does Cavern Harpy work? Is it, can you pay a life to return it, right? So, yeah, so I guess chant doesn't really do it, right? Because then whatever, like if they have the Cavern Harpy, they can just, like I chant them, then they just pass the turn, they can do it on my turn. So I would need to have double chant. I'm not sure about that, but let's wait a minute here. Let's see if we can keep the Doomsday package in, like just one. One Doomsday, one Dark Red. Maybe not even the Dark Red. Teferi is a complete showstopper for them, though. So maybe Orm's Chant really isn't good enough. So they have Veil. I'm gonna board out the Thoughtseize. I don't know about this plan. I was feeling pretty good until I got Alarin. Alright. Let's let's keep this. Bunch of removal. Sure. You go right ahead. Let's brainstorm. Okay, I think we can probably afford to send back 2 of these 4 plow effects. And I think we pass here. I don't like this is where not having Tundra is a thing. Like I would like to have preordained again, but or like cantrip again with a preordained, but I think we have to fetch a scrubland here. Speaking about color fixers, yeah, I bought both of these. Pass. My doggy just showed up. How you doing? Yep, I think I have to plow with a trigger on the stack. They get their one card, but this way they can't like rebuy them. Yikes, it's a lot of life. I'm not liking our situation here, I have to say. I would like it a whole lot more if I were to see... Do we want path here? No. Let's draw the brainstorm and let's cast it. So that was terrible. Alright, let's put back Edge of Autumn and Pyroblast. And we will pass with double Force Soap. I'm not afraid to pitch Thassa here and try to win with one of our 4 mentors, but we might need all of that. So they will need to have a Lurin and probably 2 creatures and 2, like a Veil and then a Force to fight us, or to beat us, I mean. If they drop Leovold, then, like, right now I'll just have to let him resolve and then plow. Yikes. Gilded Goose. So that's just like a, you know, one-shot Birds of Paradise, right? Oh, I guess you can, like, create food tokens, sure. Oh, no, wait, what? Okay, yeah, now I get it. Alright, so we'll draw the very embarrassing Edge of Autumn right now. Control fewer than 4 lands, search your library. Actually, you know what? I wasn't respecting this card. Oh, hang on. It means that we will be tapped out and unable to cast Pyroblast next turn, but I think it's worth it because we actually are a bit short on mana, and this Edge of Autumn is not really doing anything. So our defenses are, you know, at least they appear to be down. We have 2 forces, so it's not like there's a limit to how bad things can go, I guess, but they have 5 cards. This is the big Alarin moment. So, okay, so we force, then they Veil, then we force the Veil. Hope they don't have Force Blue card and a Cavern Harpy. Okay, so they don't have Veil, so they have Mindbreak Trap. Okay, this is costing us a lot, but Alarin is down. Pyroblast is good against Alarin in that it can counter the Cavern Harpy, right? So that should hopefully do something. Mentor? Yo! How about that? Hopefully they don't have Decay. If they have Decay, we get to get a Monk. It would actually stand to reason that they would have Decay. Cavern Harpy. So I think this is just a value harpy. They get to bounce this. So maybe I'm supposed to... So maybe I'm supposed to plow this in response. Because if we pyroblast this, then there's a world where they have drawn Veil, and we can't counter it. So I think I just want to do this instead. $27 life. So they have to bounce their own Cavern Harpy now. Alright, good stuff. Come on, cantrip, cantrip, cantrip. Yes. Beautiful. That is not so beautiful. The terminus is ugly. And we have no way to get through it other than just drawing it. So I think we just have to go like this and attack, right? There's a world where we path the Gilded Goose, but I don't see it. This is probably our best chance at defending ourselves against what they got going on. So they can get to what? Just get 3 life per turn. That's pretty decent. Sure. So maybe I am supposed to path this actually. So the 3 life sort of evens out. They have more lands? Yeah. It's not really going to be the difference maker. Alright, so we have to survive 2 more draw steps of our opponent, I think. We have the Pyroblast. Coatl. Yikes. So I think I am going to kill the counter the Coatl. It plays into them having the Veil, right? But they didn't have the Veil on the Alluring turn. They have had one, and they have Cavern Harpy and 1 card we don't know about. So if they do have Veil, it's pretty bad. But if we let them get the thingy down, they'll get to cantrip. Okay. And Cavern Harpy is 2/1. So I suppose I'm not. They played a Tropical Island, so I'm not supposed to attack with the Mentor. This signals that we don't have a spell, but actually I could have just cast the Harpy, right? Attack with the Mentor, because if they cast the Harpy, then they have to return a blue card. And that, yeah, so never mind. I should have attacked. Come on, spell. Yes. There is that beautiful spell. They have Harpy blank. I shouldn't have tapped both my basics. Okay. So they Veil. to get to Force of Will and to ensure that they don't die on this turn, I guess. No. No what? So I think we bounce this anyways, even though we didn't get we didn't play correctly, but now we can get another basic. And I guess if we can, so this is 3 plus 8, that's 11. Each spell is 5 more. So if Astrolabe gives us another spell, then we will win this turn. Oh, never mind. They have the food. But yeah, then I still think we win. Okay, it didn't. It's looking good though, right? They can't beat. They can't, can they? Can they win with Allurin with Teferi in play? I guess they can. They can't do Uro shenanigans. But they could win with like something else. No, say it ain't so. Okay, sure. So what was revealed? Coatl. So they get Coatl into Allurin and oh, never mind. They can't. They can only cast spells when they could cast a sorcery, and the agent was still on the stack. Awesome. So, I guess they could bounce. They could play the Cavern Harpy right now, and bounce Shardless Agent, and replay it, and leave themselves with 2 mana open. I'm not really sure what that does for them, though. Yeah, sweet, we got there. Alright. Allurin. That was a tight game. Okay, JPA93 is the fabled show and tell master. And I will keep this. This seems like a decent enough hand against show and tell if they are on show and tell. They mull to 6. So here we can go like turn 1 Thoughtseize, and then turn 2 either go Astrolabe or Ponder, and then turn 3 go to Fairy if we're lucky. I don't know that they're on show and tell. I'm fetching basics here as we can do that with this setup here. Okay, so it is show and tell. Okay, so yeah. I suppose the correct thing here is to take a Gristlebrand. They can then go show and tell sneak attack, show and tell into sneak attack, but then they will have burnt their only red source, and we'll be able to bounce the sneak attack with Teferi in a couple of turns. If we take Gristlebrand, we open ourselves up to them top decking another creature. And any creature will kill us because we won't be able to Teferi next turn, so even Emrakul. And they probably have 7 of those. If we take the show and tell, we risk them drawing another show and tell, which is less likely. But if we take the show and tell, then they just get to sneak attack next turn. Maybe it's still correct to take the show and tell, because, so let's, okay, next turn, we give them their turn, they go Ancient Tomb, Lotus Petal. They probably go Island, Lotus Petal, right? But then we get the turn, we play a land, they get the turn, they go Ancient Tomb, Sneak Attack. And they have Gristlebrand in hand, and as long as they don't draw a Petal, we can then go to Fairy, bounce. And because we've taken the show and tell, they will have to draw a force blue card, basically. So yeah, let's take the show and tell. Hope I didn't just talk myself into a defeat. So if we draw a blue card next turn, we will probably ponder for looking for Force of Will. We didn't, so maybe we're better off casting Astrolabe. Wow, so that was lucky. Okay. So they could have drawn Force blue card. They could have drawn Petal. We can force both of those, so I'm going to let this resolve. And then I'm going to play out the LED, because there is some crazy world where we have to play around Force and Daze. No, there isn't. So we didn't need to do that, but we did, so there you go. Let's play the Teferi. Let's bounce this guy and pass. So now we have to force this. So we plus Teferi, we go looking for, I guess, let's take the Thoughtseize and put a stop on their draw step, and we'll Thoughtseize them on their draw. I'm going to take the Gristlebrand here. So their hand is decent now. They can piece something together with 2 cantrips. They shuffle on the Ponder. And bottom both with Preordain. So let's bottom both of these. Let's plus the Teferi and pass. Hope they don't find another sneak attack. Sure. I think we're prized into plussing Teferi to keep him around for as long as possible. Ouch. And we lose. Yep. We just drew nothing really. Alright. No use in crying over spilled milk, as they say. We don't really have a lot here. I don't think we want to be trying to become a mentor deck. So probably just go like this. We can cut a basic island. And we can probably cut a predict. Man, I really thought that Teferi was gonna shine on. I don't think it was wrong to keep the Ponder. That was Thoughtseize, Preordain, and a blank. Okay. Well, we can get to Teferi again on turn 2 this time if we want to. I think we're gonna Ponder here, even though that potentially puts us off Force of Will for the Teferi. No, Let's go like this. Let's play a pedal. Just, I think sometimes they run like days. No reason to pretend like you're considering force of willing my pedal, my good man. So, do we Teferi here? I actually don't think we do. They're representing Veil as well. I was just looking, I have a pretty terrible record against sneak attack, like sneak and show, but I have a very decent record against Omni, like both green blue and mono blue. Granted, I don't have that many observations. I think probably I have 7 or 8 matches against sneak and show, and about 4 against Omni. But I have won all 4 against Omni, and I have lost like 6 out of 8 against against the sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here, but against sneak and show. It just feels like the fact that they're able to just deploy bomb after bomb after bomb is really challenging. Yeah, I think we're gonna pass again. So there's a world where they go play another land next turn, tap city, go show and tell with Veil mana up. In which case, I think we're supposed to, we have to chant, and then force, making it an effective 3 for 1. Which seems pretty bad. I hope it is just sneak attack. Oh man, this is gonna be feel bad of the year. Veil, making Force of Will a 3 for 1 at breakneck speed. So I'm gonna represent Pyroblast here. They just don't care. Sure. So I think we're at card parity, right? But yeah, the thing about Sneak and Show is that they just seem to have so many bombs. It feels like, you know, I'm not as fast as them. Oh, Brainstorm Lock, that's something. Pyroblast, sure. That sucks. But yeah, they just have so many bombs that it feels like you just have to keep, like, you can't sit back and be a control deck against them because they'll just eventually bomb you out. Okay, so I think I'm going to Doomsday here. And what did they do? They put 2 cards on top. So they will have to okay, so this resolves. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a Pyroblast on top, and then I'm going to be able to Edge of Autumn into that. And so let's say they don't make us do that. We will then draw the Pyroblast. We can then Edge of Autumn into I guess Predict. we'll have 4 mana available. We will predict with Pyroblast up, so effectively yeah, the problem with that is we don't have 3 blue sources here. I'm thinking about getting to a point where I can Cavern of Souls. So let's say we predict and have to Pyroblast. We will then be left with like Scrubland and Swamp open. So what happens if we then... No, actually, not even that. Only Swamp, right? So we can draw an Astral Leap, and then that's no good. I guess then we can predict drawing... Maybe it's just correct then to wait a turn. Or hope that we actually have to burn the Pyroblast on their turn. I guess there's a world where they keep... Yeah, I think I am going to go for the Cavern thing, because if worst comes to worst, we can like wait 1 turn, right? So let's put... We'll draw Pyroblast, get to predict, I guess a blank of some sort. What blank might actually be a card we like? I guess a Teferi. And then we will draw Cavern of Souls and Thassa's Oracle. Yeah. So I think we put Thassa on the bottom, then Cavern, then Teferi, then Predict, and then Pyroblast. Pyroblast, Predict, Teferi. Okay, so they're just going to cycle. Okay. Sweet. So hopefully that's good enough, right? Let's predict that Teferi. Cast this, name Wizard. Alright. That was good. At least we're on the board against them. Yeah, the other thing about Omni is that, like mono blue or blue green, is that a surgical extraction I think is a very underrated card against them when paired with Thought Seizes. And you can't really, like, so you surgical show and tell, and they just slam a sneak attack a couple of turns later. Alright, let's hope for the best. No show and tell here, but... Oh, sorry, no force of will, but cantrips to go digging, and if they have to turn 1, they have to turn 1. I think we have to shuffle this. And let's represent Pyroblast. Okay. Did they mulligan? No. Oh. Let's stop this nonsense. Are they just gonna slam it? Looks like it. Okay, no. Phew. So if we draw Force of Will here, do we want to go Teferi? They go top. We don't. Let's ponder. Interesting, right? So we can go for Doomsday with a pass the turn pile. At which point we open our, like, I don't, we can choose to shuffle here or draw the preordain and cast that and then just hope to get to draw like Force of Will. They put top, so I'm kind of worried that they will like have a combo move next turn. If that's the case, then we likely lose, but we have a slightly better chance if we go for the preordain. There's also, like, if we go Dark Ritual Doomsday and they have Spell Pierce or Flusterstorm, it's really annoying. If they have to Force of Will, hopefully that means they can't, like, just slam dunk kill us next turn. I kind of want to do that. I can't get away from it. All right, let's get Scrubland and cast Doomsday. And I mean, if they have a way to annihilate us next turn, then that's unfortunate. But if not, so like we can, I guess we can draw. I guess we could draw Pyroblast, and then cast Teferi. Like let's say they go Show and Tell, we dump a land, but then we would have to be able to fetch land. And we'd have to be able to fetch land from our library of 5 cards. I'm not loving that. So is there a way we could just... So we'll draw Edge. And... Or maybe we'll draw Brainstorm. And then they'll just like snap, force it, Pyroblast it. Then we can predict and they will do the same there. And even then, like predicting, we get into a spot of bother with the mana. I guess we could go draw Orm's Chant, cast it, and then they have to force. I mean, we might just as well be decorating or like polishing the silverware on the Titanic. If they have the kill you combo next turn, we're just out. Okay, how about this? How about we draw Orm's Chant? We have a fetch land, or we have a fetchable land in the deck. Let's call it Volcanic Island. We draw Worm's Chant. We fetch Volcanic Island. We cast a fairy. We Worm's Chant and cast a fairy. And then the last couple of cards will be Edge of Autumn, Cavern of Souls, and Thassa. It's a bit of a Hail Mary play. And if the Edge of Autumn is the middle card, it'll be really annoying. I guess if Teferi survives, we won't need the Cavern. I don't know. I'm going to try this. I'm probably barking up the wrong tree with this, but so let's put Thassa. Or actually, let's not. Let's just in case something else happens, we will we can put Volcanic on the bottom, then Cavern, then Thassa, like this. All right, let's pass. So the worst would be Omniscience into kill you. The second worst would be sneak attack into annihilate you. Okay, they made their land drop, right? Okay, so they can show and tell. But they don't. Interesting. They shuffled with the ponder. So do we go for our crazy plan here? I guess we can try and go chant. So they clearly have a force of will, I think. So actually maybe a play we should have made instead was to ferry here. They would then force it, and then we could chant on their turn. But I think that still leaves us with one additional turn where if they have another piece of interaction, then and the combo, then we lose. But so if this resolves, I might just. So the top of our library is Edge of Autumn. Wow, that's sexy. So they misdirect this. So now we have to make a choice. We can predict. If we predict here, we bin the Edge of Autumn. We draw Thassa and Cavern of Souls. And then we pass the turn. And then if they cast Show and Tell, we win. So I think we have to do that. They could have Pyroblast here. I mean, if they do that, so be it. That also then would mean they have one card in hand. So hopefully. Yeah, okay. So they have one card in hand, which almost certainly is a fatty or a combo piece. So now we draw the edge. I think we're supposed to fetch here and play Teferi. I guess there's no real point in bouncing anything, so let's just tick him up and pass the turn. They concede. Sweet. Awesome. Sneak and show win. That was sort of by the skin of our teeth we got there. We've met some, like, both Andrea Mangucci and JPA 93. Some pretty good opponents. We have still not yet met Delver, though. So, what, Dredge was round 1, then round 2 was Agrolome, and then Alarin, and then now Sneak Attack. We've lost games in all 4 rounds so far. It's been dicey. All right. We get to play. Great. Yeah, this is a keep. Faux show. It means... So, we're going to Thoughtseize turn 1. I always on the play feel that's kind of where I want to be at. And then we can... that means we open ourselves up to Wasteland, but there aren't that many Wastelands, and I think the opportunity cost of not Thoughtseizing could be pretty steep if we get Chalice for 1. I also personally detest getting Thoughtseized on the draw turn 1. It's just like a gross feeling. Okay, so what do they have here? Force. Oh, I guess this is like a blue-black shadow. Let's take the Ponder. Sculling Tarn. Could be Grixis, I guess. So this is a Delver deck, so part of the I'm not so happy to play against them deck category, but they likely aren't Grixis, so they likely don't have access to Lightning Bolt. Force of Will is nice. Let us... maybe I should have Preordained first, actually. Yeah, I think that would have been correct. But I kind of wanted to keep hold of my Preordain unless I drove a blue card. Yeah, never mind. Let's Preordain. So I think I want both of these cards. And let's just, in case we get discarded, hide the Orm's Chant. So a Dark Ritual, and I think we're sort of just good to go. This being blue-black, you have to sort of expect them to play Thoughtseize, though. Street Wraith, okay. And Thoughtseize would be bad, because they would take the Doomsday, but then we still have, you know, some cantrips to draw out of it. Yeah, this is good, I think. Teferi also makes... And look, they're an aggro deck and they haven't played a creature and it's their 3rd turn, so that's good for us. There's a Watery Grave. There's a Delver. So their hand is Force, Underground Sea, and 2 cards we don't know about. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to cast Cavern, name Wizard. And Cavern is going to make a white mana off of the Astrolabe. They're going to force. No, they're not going to force. Okay. In which case, we are going to make Teferi bounce their Delver and win next turn. Unless we get Thoughtseized. Which, no, actually. Thoughtseize, we will just force that. But if we then get Thoughtseized and have to force, we'll lose the Brainstorm. Yeah, anyways. Things are looking very good for us. I think the card Thoughtseize is the only thing that prohibits us from actually winning next turn, but we will still win. I'm almost certain of it. No, never mind. Yeah, because we have the delta. So even if they waste, oh, they waste that one. That seems strange, seeing as how they can't put anything on the stack when I have something on the stack. But I guess they hope to be able to kill Teferi next turn. Okay, so I mean, it's fair enough. It's fair enough that they wasteland, but I just think I would have wastelanded something else. So, anyways, let us. Let's cast Doomsday here. And so we make this pile. Alright, so when we make this pile, we'll cast Brainstorm, drawing Edge, predict LED. And the last two cards need to be Thassa and Petal. Petal on the bottom with Thassa. Go like this. Yep. And we put back Teferi and predict. And go like this. Name Teferi. And there we are. Okay, and here we bring in the whole shebang. And plows should be doing double work against them, which is nice. Like this, go like this, go like this. Be interesting to see if this pays off here. It's not often that I win game one against Delver, so I feel like this is one of those we have to exploit. Alright. Opponent will be on the play. I don't think we can keep this, sadly. If this was a basic, I would. Opponent thinking things through. Alright, they keep. I will mulligan. And I'll keep. And I will bin the Thoughtseize. Actually, do we bin the Force of Will instead? I hope to not get Thoughtseized here. Okay, Delver, sure. Alright. Come on. This has to go through. Does. Sweet. So their Thoughtseize is likely going to take our Mentor. Unless they whiff on a second land, which would be disgustingly amazing for us. They don't shuffle. Ooh. This makes me think they have, if they don't play land, this makes you think they have a lot of counter magic. Wow. That's amazing. So let us path. Yeah, let's path. Okay. I hope they don't have basics, but okay. So I don't. How? I'm just thinking if we should be protecting this Mentor with a Force when they Thoughtseize it next turn. Now it seems less likely because I worry about days, but maybe. Yeah, let's go like this. They could go like Wasteland Thoughtseize, which would be kind of bad. I think we can't play in today's. So they will take Monster Mentor, I'm almost certain of it. Yep. And hopefully they will decide something to do. Surgical, the path to exile. Sure. Glad they didn't surgical the Mentor, and I still think the days sort of play holds up. If we force this in the days, we'll be left with one card in hand. It's annoying because we don't get to draw the ponder. But at the end of the day, We still have 4 plows. If they have second surgical, now that they've seen the deck, I'm sure they'll take the mentor. Okay. Wasteland it is. God, that was a good draw. Or actually, am I thought seizing here? I think I'm thought seizing. They have days. Then I'm glad I didn't brainstorm. Yeah, okay. Now the question becomes if we force a creature next turn. Come on, opponent. Play faster. Ugh, sure. I think they were supposed to take the brainstorm. We need to draw a lot of things. We need to draw lands and cantrips. Astrolabe is something. Yeah, alright. So now they're... Okay, Delver is not a N88, which their Death Shadow would be, so... Okay. It's good for us. I think we leave that Delta in hand. Wow. That's lucky. I think it's a creature since they didn't fetch. Wait, they had a brainstorm all this time? Guess they're not saving the top for the Delver. I think we have to force. Okay. Would have been able to pay if we'd have played the Delta, but don't think I'm supposed to play around that. All right. So now the race is on for me to find Plow or Terminus, I guess, but it seems not so likely. All right. I'm going to see if the Delver flips. If it does, then I'm effectively on one card, on one land for the rest of the game. So Delver does not flip. So we drop to 3. Okay, never mind. We drop to 1. So wish there was some way I could deal him 1 damage, but there is not. Sure. Okay, let's just draw this Terminus, huh? What do you say? Alright, we shall concede and go on to game 2, or 3 rather. Them having Plague Engineer makes me a bit concerned for my mentor plan, but we still have a lot of ways to remove a Plague Engineer. But now they know what's up, and they know that we have no Doomsday in the deck. So I'm not sure. We would, if we want Doomsday, we would need 1, 2, probably 3, probably 4 cards to trim, which I don't love. So I'm gonna keep it as is and hope we can get there with a fast mentor draw. Maybe we need something like Spell Pierce in the list to effectively fight off turn 1s into sort of Thought Seizes. So let's choose to be on the play. Let's mulligan. Yeah, let's keep this. It's not amazing, but it's not terrible. Pretty good. Let's go like this, and we'll fetch before casting the Astrolabe. Not turn 1 Thoughtseize. Let's get the basic planes and Astrolabe. I think we pass here because I think they daze us if they have it, and I put a lot of value into this ponder. They shuffle off of their ponder. Why can't I see it? They did. This time they did not. Teferi is good. think these cards are pretty good too. Let's go like this. And pass. We can actually orange chant into Teferi next turn. Sort of card disadvantageous, but getting the Teferi to resolve would be pretty clutch, I think. We aren't facing red blasts or bolts. And from what I can tell, that would be their way to deal with it. We can even go chant into plow into Teferi next turn off the pedal. So it sort of hinges on us not getting discarded here. This is a zombie fish, maybe? I think it is. Just from the way they're paying the cost. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, let's chant. So they have to force this. Hopefully they don't have double force. Because if they force this and have like a Flusterstorm yet left, then we're golden. They could be sitting on Surgical. Okay. Force it is. Let's try Teferi. Boom. That is about as good as it can get. If we don't beat them now, I'm going to cry a little bit, I think. There's a shadow. And what? Plague Engineer? Sure. So here's when things get funny. So we're going to plow the Plague Engineer, and unless they have Street Wraith, the Death Shadow is going to die from the life gain. Let's plus here. And pass. If they have creature removal here, we will probably brainstorm just to get a monk. Ah, they drew the Street Wraith. That's unfortunate. Alright, so they were playing the fish again, I think. That's fine. We will plow it on end of turn. sacrificing the pedal to get an extra attacking monk next turn. Ooh. Yes, please. I guess this is kind of awkward, but actually it's not. Let's go like this. We'll play the Vista, and if for some reason they cast like Damnation or something, we can draw into another mentor. Yeah, I'll fetch. No Damnation for you. Nothing to search out, but that's fine. Damnation Man open again. Playing Engineer is good. If we draw a cantrip here, I might just want to bounce him. So yeah, like if we bounce him, we lose the Teferi. But we get to... Actually, I don't think we're supposed to do that. I think... So next turn, I'm going to pass here with the Astrolabe. This is actually a way we could lose. So they're going to attack the Teferi. We will have to trade a mentor. Suppose I could Astrolabe and hope to draw into a plow. We have 5 plow effects left in the deck. So that's not unreasonable. Maybe I just got a bit too greedy. Sure, Delver. They have to respect us having an instant here. Okay, sweet, so they don't attack. That was fortunate for us, I think. So let's bounce this guy. Drawing a card. And there we go. So let's cast Astrolabe. Predict is not so nice. Actually, no, it's fine because they'll be revealing their Delver flip. So let's see. It's brainstorm, so let us predict the brainstorm. Hopefully draw either a plow or I know what? I'm gonna brainstorm here. If I can draw a plow, I think I'll like to keep the Teferi around. Okay. We don't, but we do draw force. And if, so now they'll be able to force back if they have drawn force of will. Their hand is, I think I'm supposed to do this. We can play around days, but not force or flusterstorm. Okay. They are taking 50 goddamn years to resolve each trigger. I just really want to get through this game. So no, we're not going to pay. Plague Engineer is in. I lose all my monks on the next, on my turn. Let's fetch. Get that. Draw a spell maybe. Yep. I guess let's not play the Mentor, right? Because if we can, we would have to chain 4 spells. I was just thinking if there was a way we could win on the swing through here. All the Mentors. We have to swing here. If they want to trade, that's absolutely fine by us. They go to 1. Maybe they have like 2 Death Shadows. That would be kind of nasty. Even 1 Death Shadow might actually do it. No, they need 2 creatures now, right? They can't bank on us not drawing another spell. Another fish, maybe? Snuff out, sure. Okay. Okay, let's go for the 3rd Mentor. See if we can find Path to Exile and end this. Bottom, top. Swing with both. Trade both. Which I suppose is a bit scary. If they have another snuff out, then we are out of Mentors. Say maybe that was a mistake. Sure. Angler it is. So I'm going to predict them here just a cycle and get a monk. So let's name Death Shadow. Flusterstorm. Okay, sweet. I think that wins us the game unless they have Flusterstorm, I guess. Wow. Epic game. That took ages, but stoked that we got through. So with that, I will bid you adieu and thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back with another video at some point. Bye-bye.